things. And I ran into this agent in Memphis, former retired agent, who told me, giving me the background about what was going on when Dr. King was in Memphis at that time. And, he said, I'd asked him if they ever did electronic surveillance on King there. And he said, no, we had no need to do that. And he said, we had great informant coverage. And it was in this context that he mentioned that Ernest Withers had been an informant for the FBI, which, when he told me that, kind of blew me away in the beginning because, wow, Withers, he's so closely identified with the movement, as you said, kind of the eye of the movement. And it was pretty startling. The agent never wanted to go on the record. He said he denied if I ever wrote that, so I just kind of let it alone. There's in the news business, there's a lot of things that wind up on the cutting room floor. I moved on, went back into covering a lot of political corruption, which was rife in Memphis at that time. It was only years later, after Ernest died, that I filed a Freedom of Information Act request. And in the process of getting records back, I found that the FBI had left his code number, ME338R, which is a unique identifier. In FBI jargon, they call it a source symbol number. But it said in a report, a background report on him from 1977, that he had been formally designated as ME338R. And so it was a kind of a eureka moment, wow, this is true what this guy was telling me before. And so, but trying to figure out what do I do with that, because it really didn't tell you much of anything. I got more records from the FBI that had been released in the late 1970s, covering that 60s period in Memphis. And I found that they made the same mistake over and over again.
Really?
Again, that with that source symbol number being a unique identifier, you could say, you substitute in Ernest Withers' name and say that he did X, Y, and Z for the FBI. So I did some initial stories, and then I met the daughter of the agent who had ran Withers, William H. Lawrence, and he was dead by then, but she had saved a number of his records that she found after her mother passed away.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on shoulder ahead.
After her father, and there were handwritten notes that he had that referred to Ernest by name and by code number. So I did more stories, and then the newspaper, this was a newspaper investigation, we tried to get his FBI file, and they just totally denied everything and said, wouldn't cooperate. We sued him in court. They fought us for quite a while. In the end, we wound up winning, getting a mediated settlement, and they had to pay all our legal fees. We'd spent like $200,000 pursuing this. Yeah, they relied on a law that allows them to lie, and they did. They lied about it. The law exempts